Welcome back to another episode of the Caffeinated Christian Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Willert, and I'm sitting here with Pastor Mike Rigglesworth. And we have a great episode for you today. We are going to be talking about the upcoming year, 2025, and everything we have planned, new additions, some topics, some ideas that we have for you guys, just to keep you on your feet and excited about the year to come. But before we go into that, let us drop the music and talk about the coffee we are having. Now, Mike, let me just tell you what I don't have any coffee that I'm drinking right now. Let me tell you why. Because I'm about 16 gallons in already today.
Sure.
I've had one of those nights where I woke up at 3 and for some strange reason couldn't go back to sleep because every single little creak in the house sounded like my house was exploding. And my mind go back to sleep. Do you ever have that when you're just like, everything is now keeping me awake? And
like somebody is breaking into my house and he's going to murder my family.
I'm just like, you hear a little bird outside and it sounds like a pterodactyl. I'm like, this thing needs to leave the tree in front of my house. That's how annoying this is. And so I had cinnamon bun, I had a Stoff's coffee, and then around 12 o'clock, I had a nitro cold brew. And so I'm pretty coffeeed out for today. And so I'm trying to get some water into my, more like just regular water into my system before my heart explodes. That's
a good idea. It's a wise idea.
Yeah. What are you drinking today, Mike?
Well, today I am drinking coffee from Hemisphere Coffee. This is Nicaragua blend. And I just realized that I cannot put my hands around my cup like this anymore because it's too hot. I've been putting my coffee on a brand new coffee warmer that I received. So I got from our office manager at the church. She bought me a little coffee warmer. I could just stick it on. It's pretty much just a hot plate with some plastic around it. But it's nice. It's really nice. And it keeps my coffee warm. So if I'm deep in thought or deep in conversation and I forget about my coffee, this keeps it nice and warm. There's nothing worse than cold coffee when you want it to be warm.
That's true.
If you know it's cold, it's really good.
Yeah. I need to get one. I've seen them on Amazon, Mike, where you can have the coffee warmers that plug into the side of your computer. So while you're working in the office, because my office, the outlets are kind of like over there. And so it'd be nice to just have one that you could plug right into the little side of the computer right here to keep the coffee warm. I don't know if they work or not. It almost sounds like a Temu product. So
yeah, just be careful.
Yeah, just be careful it doesn't explode as I'm using it.
Yeah, I mean, we've all bought things from Temu that ended up not being what was advertised.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or you get the picture of the item that you thought you purchased.
That's all you have is the picture.
Yeah.
I paid $25 for a picture?
Yeah. So, Mike, I'm going to toss it over to you to start us off on what we're going to be updating all of our listeners for the upcoming year of 2025.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited about some of the things that we have coming down the pipeline. And, we get together and we talk every year about what we want the coming year to look like. Actually, I don't think we did that in 2024, to be honest. But we have done it in previous years. And one of the things that we've talked about, I'll just give the 30,000-foot view to get things started. I think that makes the most sense. That we have the new format where we're doing different segments in the podcast to kind of just keep things interesting. And Good and Bad and Churchy is a regular part of a podcast, and so is Shields Up segment, Ryan giving you tools and resources to better articulate and defend your faith out in the wild world that we live in today. And also looking back in what's called the archives, looking back on people who are the pillars of the faith that have come before us. We're going to continue to do those things when it's just us. But one of the things that we wanted to get back to that we've gotten away from this year, at least have not done it to nearly as much as we used to, is bringing on guests. And so we have several guests that we are looking to bring on. We don't want to, tell you who they are because we haven't officially had them confirmed yet, but we are reaching out to people around the topics of having someone how to talk to us about how do we navigate this issue of Christian nationalism? How do I talk about my faith to my Christian nationalist brother or sister. We're going to talk about that topic a lot more. We're going to hopefully address the topic of how do we respond when our children come out. So if you have a son or a daughter and they self-disclose that they are gay or they're lesbian, or maybe you discovered that surprisingly and weren't expecting it, how do you respond in a way that embodies Jesus without surrendering your theological convictions? We also have in mind to reach out to some of our old friends from the podcast that we're going to be bringing back, who have started projects of their own that we are really excited to talk to them more about and give you those resources on how you can get more involved. Let's see, what else do we have planned? We do plan to talk about, so Inauguration Day is approaching, and so we are going to be releasing an episode around how we feel about the election around Inauguration Day. We thought that was the most appropriate. We are also looking at some point in 2025. We will have to work through some logistical things to make sure that we're doing things right. But we do want to add a video format to our podcast as well. So if you like listening to or watching podcasts on YouTube, we want to provide that to you as an option. And we also started exploring the possibility of doing a live episode. So keep your ear to the ground for that. We are really, 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 really looking forward to that. Personally, I'm excited about that. But we haven't figured out all the logistical details behind that, what that's going to look like. But long story short, we want to give you an opportunity as listeners to engage with us in real time on an episode. So be listening for that, because we are really, really excited about it. And when we announce that and we announce the date, mark it on your calendars, because we don't want to get on and just have it be the two of us. That would be really, really lame. What else do we have going on, Ryan?
Yeah,
Anything
so
I
there's
missed?
I think there is some things that we are looking forward to doing and being this year. First is we're looking forward to being more consistent
Mm-hmm.
with our dropping of podcasts. And I know some of you listeners are like, hey, like you didn't drop one this week. What happened? So we're trying to be more consistent in that. And if we're not, we're going to let you know. Maybe it be a holiday or sickness, whatever the case is. More consistency is a big thing, and more immediacy when it comes to certain topics versus talking about a topic that happened 2 months ago. We're going to try to get on it immediately and release our thoughts and
Yeah.
dive into some information behind it as well.
Yeah.
And
And
some,
and it might not be as polished of an episode. It might not have the intro music or the outro music, because it is something that we recorded last minute, and time is of the essence around things like that. So we might
yeah,
forego that with certain episodes, but it is what it is.
yeah, and some other
Yeah.
cool big picture ideas Mike and I have been tossing about for 2025. Let me just give you two of them. He already talked about the live sort of podcast and putting us on YouTube. That means I got to look much better than I do right now, but I can do that. I can put on a nice dress shirt for you guys. But the first one is this. Obviously, more variety when it comes to things. We kind of had an idea it'd be fun for Mike and I to put on a fake debate on how we have
Mhm.
conversations. Because clearly you need to see how Mike's wrong. No, I'm just kidding. No, but put on a fake debate on certain topics that we don't necessarily agree on or see eye to eye, but how we have conversations during those.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like a point counterpoint type of a
Well,
thing.
counterpoint.
So
Yeah.
we would take an issue. Ryan would pick a side, I would pick a side, and then we would say, all right, we're going to present the best arguments, and we're going to kind of try to talk through that particular issue charitably.
Yeah.
Like we want to be able to, and this is one of the visions behind the podcast when we started, is we want to be able to model charitable, thoughtful dialogue for our people, because there's a deficit of that today. And so if we can model that in how we have conversations with each other, that I think that would be helpful.
Yeah. And then one other idea that we have come in your way, plus more, is the idea of having a live video commentary discussion. where we can play a video. Maybe it
Mhm.
was just dropped by a pastor or in the news or whatnot, and then we can pause it, and then we can have our own commentary and thoughts alongside the video. Rather than
Mhm.
just reading the article, you can actually hear the conversation that we will be responding to. So that would be a fun thing to do. And if it's on YouTube, you'll be able to see the video
Mhm.
as well and us having that conversation. So I'm excited about this new year
Yeah.
and some big picture ideas we've been tossing back and forth to each other. Now, Mike, do we want to tell the listeners of the sad news?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want me to drop the news? Is that
Yeah,
all right?
I'll have you drop the news.
Sure. So you all might have noticed that there's been an absence on our podcast for the last several episodes. Maybe you have been asking some questions. Where is Bradley, the man with no last name? So we found out about at the time of this recording. We were recording in mid-December. We're probably not going to drop this until January, but we found out from Bradley that he is no longer going to be on the podcast with us. And I want to stifle anything that might be coming out in the rumor mill. If you guys are talking about it, there's no bad blood between us at all. He
No.
left on very good terms. We're actually excited for him in what he's doing. He's actually working on a project of his own. I don't know what details that he wants to be put out there yet, so I'm not going to share the details with you. But when the project is done, we would love to have him, come on and maybe talk a little bit about it. But just like when Stephen left the podcast, didn't leave on bad terms at all. In fact, Stephen is doing a podcast of his own, the Jesus Agenda, doing a great job on that. And
Kind of get him back on the
yeah.
Jesus Agenda with the Caffeinated Christian.
Yeah, we want to do like a little crossover podcast with him and his co-host on the Jesus Agenda. But I find it exciting when there are other projects that come out that can offer a different perspective, different voice on cultural issues of the day. And the Jesus Agenda actually does that, but it's from it's a little different flavor. And same with Bradley. What I can say about the project that he's working on, he's trying to generate light around a particular theological issue, and I'm curious to see how that all shakes out. And so we're happy for him. We're excited for him. I mean, should we leave it a mystery, Ryan?
Yes.
His last name? Should we continue to leave it a mystery?
We'll leave it a mystery.
No one will know, right? No one's going to, although you could probably figure it out if you looked hard enough, but we're not going to tell you his last name. So
we're going to leave it a mystery and let you guys guess unless one day he wants to come on and drop it. But I like the suspense of it. I think we leave it a mystery. I like that.
Yeah. And there's going to be more regularity with podcasts being released. We're genuinely very excited about where the podcast is going. Ryan and I just spent a good bit of time last week talking about the overarching vision of what we want to do, and we're completely on the same page. And we're looking forward to giving you more great episodes between the two of us, but also really getting back to our roots and bringing in experts on particular topics to talk about those issues. So, all right. Anything else we want to add before we sign off?
I'm just excited. We have a set day that we can record. Our calendars line up, so it is full steam ahead, no looking back. And you guys hopefully get a lot of good episodes and content as we start and hopefully finish the year 2025 off extremely strong and keep going into the future.
Yep. All right, guys. As always, thank you for listening to the Caffeinated Christian Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And as always, we love to get your feedback, give your perspective. You could reach out to us on Facebook or on Instagram at the Caffeinated Christian. Is podcast on the end of it, Brian, or is it just at the Caffeinated Christian?
The Caffeinated Christian.
At the Caffeinated Christian. All right. Always want to make sure that I say that right. And give us your feedback. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. And as always, we appreciate you taking the time to listen, and hopefully sometime in 2025, you will also be watching. Until next time, have a great day.